Welcome to the, what is today's date?
8.
The 8th, the January 8th Planning Board meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxboro Cable Access. There may or may not be people who may call in on Zoom or some other method. With that, we're ready to begin. So, planners update?
Thank you. We will be having a new intern, an unpaid intern, starting with our office later this month. His name is Nathan Coplin. His specialties and interests are transportation planning, but he wants to get some generalized planning experience, so we're excited to take him on. We've got a lot going on right now, so it'll be good to have some extra help. The Neponset Avenue Working Group will be meeting again tomorrow to discuss some of the recent ideas, and we're hoping to host some community forums for that in February, March, to try to get some broader community input. Master plan, we have received the final draft. We're going to be reviewing it next week to make sure they incorporated our changes, and that will be submitted for adoption at town meeting. Grant projects. We will still be submitting the grant application for mass trails, but I did want to ask if there had been any further thoughts on the request to sponsor town meeting warrant article for an abbreviated in-town feasibility study if we're not successful in getting the funding. I think that we have until early February before the citizens petitions are due. So if not this meeting, we'll definitely need to discuss it at the next one. But if there were any further thoughts for tonight, you're free to share.
Not at this time from me.
Not this time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check in with you all by email in the next week or so, because I do want to be timely on that one. We did close out the grant for our solar and special residential bylaw updates. What that means is that we have some language to work with and play with. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to take that language immediately to town meeting. One of the two, the solar bylaws, I think is more straightforward, clear cut, and that one may be able to go to annual town meeting, but at the state level, there are some draft guidelines that I'd really like to be solidified and final before we take it. So if it takes till fall town meeting, we'll do so. But that one will come first. The special residential piece is a little bit more challenging because I'm also working on senior housing, and I'd like those two to go together. So that one will probably have to be picked apart over this summer, with your discretion, of course, and probably a couple more senior housing workshops, I'd imagine. Any questions on that? Okay. World Cup, we have received some preliminary plans. We're working with our departmental peers on the permitting needs and capacity there. And you all will be welcome to submit some comments back to the World Cup folks. And annual town meeting warrant, the items that I have on there as of now are the master plan update, acceptance, Neponset Avenue, whatever comes from that effort, the solar regulations, depending on the final state guidelines, as I suggested, some housekeeping items, which are like references and names and making sure that everything is consistent across. It doesn't change anything substantively. It just, those are some items that we tend to do every couple of years just to make sure that we're reviewing and making sure that our bylaws are readable, clear, and concise. And then finally, that design review district item that I brought up the last time around that will hopefully strengthen and broaden the authority of the design review board and take away the discretionary aspect of it. So those are the 5 items for annual town meeting warrant that are on there right now. So that's really it for me this time around. I'll continue working with you all on several of those matters in the next couple weeks.
Okay. Anything under active subdivisions?
I think we have a couple to discuss later on
Okay.
in the action items.
All right. And minutes.
I sent out the minutes from December 11th, a couple days ago. Didn't get any comment.
Nope. I read the minutes. Motion to approve.
I read them.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. First action item is minor modification request for Lamson Road Water Department property.
Good evening. Chris Gallagher, I'm the Director of Public Works. I have Brian Weiner from Ty and Bond with me. We are here just to discuss quickly some modifications to the site plan for the PFAS treatment plant down on Lamson Road. As we walked through permitting process with conservation, we had some feedback from DEP that was because this existing gravel roadway we were going to pave is within the 100-foot buffer zone. It was going to trigger some additional state review that was going to hinder our timeline to get this project out to bid. So with that in mind, we took what is a gravel road. We're going to leave it as a gravel road. And we are going to shift the new paved access to the PFAS plant outside of the buffer zone for the wetlands. It does remove a small detention basin that was in this area. We create a small swale and then pipe that back to the larger detention basin on the backside of the building. It allowed us to do some regrading as well in the design. So that's the major change. We also have a small addition that we require to go on to the existing green sand filter building. It's a 450 square foot addition. It's existing paved area, so it's net on impervious area. We did speak with the fire department. Our outgoing Deputy Chief Laracy did okay it, that it's not going to hinder their access around the backside of the building if in the future we have to get to that point. So those are the two small changes we're just looking to bring before the board tonight. The paving actually is a reduction. I think we have almost over 4,000 square feet of reduced.
It's 4,500 square feet reduced since the last special permit filing.
So did it impact your budget or costs or anything to do it?
It should be a net reduction in cost because we have less pavement.
Does it make it more difficult for truck access?
It doesn't.
No.
No.
My recollection is we had some conversation about the paving right around that footprint
Yeah,
when you came in for the.
we did,
Yeah.
and we've revisited. I think what we have is an improvement to
Yeah, I would say
the
so.
plan we had before you in the past.
Right.
Any other comments or questions?
No, I'm fine.
No.
So then I'd make a motion that the board approve the request or the application for a minor modification to the project on Lamson Road, the new PFAS plant for a reduction primarily in paved area, as well as small addition to the facility.
I'll second that. Other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good,
thank you.
guys. Appreciate it. Next item is a bond reduction request at Lawson Farms.
You have a memo in your packet. We have, you received a request from Bay Colony Group for the reduction of the monies being held as a bond for the completion of Lawson Farm, all three phases. The memo has a breakdown on the costs. However, this week, the DPW received new amounts for costs for different items for construction, and haven't had time to review the numbers to compare to what was submitted. So the numbers might change slightly. I'm not sure. We also received a letter from the residents of Lawson Farm, which we forwarded to the board with concerns about the some of the items that in the subdivision that are still outstanding.
Correct.
What does our engineer say about these issues that,
I'm sorry?
what does the engineering say about these issues that our neighbors are complaining about?
Our DPW department?
Yes.
They're reviewing the items.
Yeah, they've,
Yes.
speak for yourself.
So, I mean, I think this process is fairly standard across, subdivision development and construction. Work has been done since the last bond reduction. Bay Colony Group is here and can talk about some of the details, but curbing has been installed, sidewalks have been installed. So I think there is, reason for the bond reduction to come forward tonight. As Gabby said, we did, as of Tuesday, we just got updated construction numbers for the upcoming construction season. That contract will carry us for 3 years, so it'll cover the length of the permitted work. We just haven't had a chance to review that. At the same time, as that binder course continues to age, as we've done in previous developments, I have concerns about that binder course and what that looks like, and putting, a top on top of that. So that's something else that we want to take a look at, as far as what that binder looks like, what may need to be done to that, besides patching some potholes, fixing some catch basin structures. So again, as the construction process goes on, a lot of those catch basins were set to binder grade, so the asphalt around them is breaking up, but that's going to have to be dug up before final pavement goes down anyway. There is some maintenance that should be done by the developer, just to put that in a safe position for the rest of the duration until top goes down. So, I mean, there are some issues around the catch basins primarily that need to be addressed in the short term. Long term, those will get it, fixed prior to top being installed on asphalt. So, we're looking for a little more time to review the numbers, review the quantities, make sure that the binder gets the attention it needs before we move forward. Again, I do think there is work that was done, that there's a reason why this bond reduction is being requested, and happy to look at what's been completed. We have all those notes, just trying to get through it, and a couple of days was a little bit much.
So when Serge, does this new pricing, is it automatic, or does the committee have to review it, or how does that work?
So the committee of highway DPW directors and highway superintendents, we reviewed it on Tuesday. The town managers and town administrators review it on Wednesday and usually vote on it Wednesday, and then contracts get issued from there. So I have those numbers. I believe the town administrators reviewed and voted on that yesterday. So we have all those. I've actually shared them with Mr. Buckley and Bay Colony Group. So future bonds, they have those updated numbers as well. We just need, again, some time to work through what those figures are, make sure the town's protected with the right numbers for future work that needs to be done.
Chris, on the issue related to the binder, I would assume, and tell me if I'm correct or not, that your concerns, such as they are, would be limited to the work on phase 1 being the original oldest work, or is it throughout?
I would look at it all. Before top goes down, it all does need to be addressed. Where it was done in phases, you would think that the oldest binder is the worst. But some of that phase 2 and phase 3 binder has seen a lot more construction abuse.
Okay.
So there may be some more concerns in that phase 3, just because there's been a lot of material stored there. They used in phase 1 and phase 2, they kind of used that as a stockpiling location.
Yeah.
Not as much once the binder went down, but there was still a lot of use in that area for those first 2 phases.
Okay. Chris, how long do you think it'll take for you to do an accurate evaluation and be able to bring the numbers to us?
Our intention is we're going to go out tomorrow and look at the binder, figure out exactly what we think needs to be addressed. At the same time, we can work with the developer on, any pothole areas, any safety issues with the catch basins that we feel need to be addressed on the short term. Make sure that he's getting to those in the near future, and don't want to speak on their behalf, but I believe their intention is to go out Monday, Tuesday next week while the weather's a little bit warmer and address some of that with hot mix asphalt. And really by early next week, I should have revised numbers.
So feasibly, we could look at this realistically at our next meeting.
If that's the pleasure of
if
the board.
there's an available slot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Some of the pictures we saw look like a safety issue. I think those have to be addressed right away.
Yeah.
I drove through there this morning, a lot of cones everywhere and around the catch basins.
Yeah. And then, you know, unfortunately, that's construction.
Yeah.
You know, and when lots are sold and you have different developers building houses versus the person who was responsible for the subdivision, the roadway, the sidewalks, you know, you have some of that
Right.
interaction where they don't have full control over the process.
And some of the early binding, I think, is where a lot of the potholes are too.
So, Gab, how much money are we holding in total here, and how much is the actual request right now before we get any final information from
So
the...
right now, we are holding $734,397. They're requesting a reduction of $210, $210,245, which will leave us with the town holding $524,152.
Is that with the contingency or without?
Yes, that's with the contingency.
And I mean, we're not talking significant increases, you know, some of the asphalt pricing, they're at $98 a ton. Our bid price is now $104.50. So, you know, there's a $6.50 increase per ton. So, you know, it's not a major increase. You know, one of the nice things that Lance brought in was the 20% contingency. So, you know, that helps us
Right.
in future years if this drags out into 2027. With that cushion. If asphalt oil prices, we have on our asphalt prices, we have a contingency escalator clause on the oil cost. So if oil happens to go through the roof, you know, that 20% will help us out.
So, next meeting is scheduled for when?
January 22nd. You're not here.
Not here. Well, I guess there's two ways we could do this. One is to say, pending Chris's perspective on what any increase or change would be based on the new surge pricing, we could theoretically vote even this evening to approve this pending that. And if it's greater or lesser, we wouldn't take a risk of anything beyond the $210,245 unless there was an increase based on the surge pricing, in which case we would have to adjust that. So how would the board feel about that, as opposed to waiting for another meeting to have a full-blown conversation about it?
I don't know, I think I would recommend holding this in abeyance until that time, because it's not just a matter of recalculating the pricing. It's also an expectation that short-term issues that you referred to and talked about will be addressed in the short term, perhaps, hopefully within 2 weeks.
I'm okay with that.
I'm on board with that.
Mr. Buckley?
He snuck up when you weren't looking.
I didn't see you,
Sneak up.
Try not to.
take your place.
So, Mr. Chairman, good evening. My name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group, and I represent the applicant. And what we're here tonight is to talk about, I think, two things. The first is the bond release, the bond reduction, which is in the regulations. And that is what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're asking the board to act on. And then the second item is some maintenance issues that have to take place on the site, which we don't disagree with. We've had, we put the curbing in, a lot of this curbing went in November, October, and then we had a really cold December. It's difficult to pave, to do paving in there. You typically don't want to do cold patch if you don't have to. So we're going to have a warm spell next week. And the intent is to get in there next Monday, Tuesday, and to do the patching around the catch basins and stuff. That is a separate issue. That is a completely separate issue. Not for the bond release, the bond reduction. So what I would request is that what you made as a recommendation is, instead of coming back in 2 weeks, the board makes a motion or takes a vote that allows the professional staff to reset this bond. It's not incorrect. It's just we got stuck in this transition from it. So it's not incorrect. We did what we were supposed to do, but we're kind of stuck. So my suggestion is to do what you just said, is to let DPW, they just gave us the new numbers. We'll put together a change. We'll talk to Chris about, because they've also changed some of the ways they calculate things, which fine, we'll go back and recalculate. And then whatever that number is, it is. If it's 250 or if it's 180, whatever the number ends up being, it ends up being. I doubt the number's going to go down. So, that would be helpful to us. And then to address the issues that you're talking about, what Mr. Peterson just brought up, is these maintenance issues. What I would call them is, and as you've done in the past on similar circumstances, like not something like this, but when you do a lot release, you don't hand over the form until the conditions are satisfied and the professional staff holds it. I would suggest that would be an alternative, in that if you don't hand over the form, let's say that Chris gets that done Monday, and we agree on a number, whatever the number is. Whatever the number is, he gets his number. There's nothing for me to agree to. But until the maintenance stuff is done, which we expect to have done Monday and Tuesday, the DPW will be out there inspecting it, and once it's done to their satisfaction, then you could hand over the form. And that way we're not waiting 2 weeks to do this again. That would be my request.
Does DPW have either a formal list, or is there an agreement on maintenance work that needs to be done?
No, I think part of that will be decided tomorrow when we go out and walk the site.
Well, that being said, I would just like to wait until we can get everything together, let him do due diligence. It's not like we're not gonna be meeting again for 6 weeks. We're meeting in 2. This project's been going on a long period of time. It's not going anyplace. It's gonna be finished. We all understand that. It's gonna be a beautiful development, but I think that Chris's people need to have the time to do everything the way it needs to get done. And then we do what we do, and we release the bonding.
Let me just say that the DPW has already approved of this number. What has changed is the surge numbers, which we're doing. So we've already had the inspections, they've already been out. This number has been approved by the DPW. What we're talking about now is the maintenance. That's why I was trying to point out at the beginning, it's 2 different issues. So we're going to redo these numbers based on the new numbers, but there's also the maintenance to be done out there, which we said we'll commit to doing. We were going to do it anyways. And then it will be, and what I'm saying is protect the board, although there's no real protection here, is you don't hand over the form for the bond release until that maintenance is done. It's 2 different issues.
But the maintenance is part of the project, and there's some safety issues that I see there. We have a
Right.
gate box sticking up 4 inches at a sidewalk. that you expect children to walk on.
The gate box was put in by the gas company incorrectly, not by the developer or anything. He needs to,
The
he
developer's
needs to
still
fix
responsible.
it. He needs to fix it, yes, he does.
That's a safety issue, and what teeth do we have if we don't control bonds?
Even after this is all done, okay, the reduction will not take place until those items are done to the satisfaction of the DPW. So that's why I'm saying is you'll hold this until the DPW is satisfied that those issues that you're talking about. So nothing will take place, the bond reduction will not take place until they're satisfied that the issues that they will identify has been done. I guess that's your protection.
So they're gonna hold on to it for another week.
Well, hopefully till
And if we
Tuesday.
vote to wait, then you're just talking a second week. It's not the end of the world.
It's not. It's not.
That's our only power. That's
And-
our only authority to
And you don't give, you're not,
these safety
but
issues.
you're not giving it up. And my point is you're not handing over the bond reduction until the work is done. The safety maintenance that you're talking about is
Putting our
done.
authority in the hands of somebody else. It's our job, though. We're elected to do that.
You do, but you do rely on your professional staff to, once you've set the policy or the decision, for them to implement. And that would be the same issue here, that they're implementing what you've decided. And, we're just, maybe we'll come back in 2 weeks and you'll go, done.
Well, that's hopefully what will happen, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Honestly, I don't want to discuss anything other than that.
Yeah.
Get the ducks in a row, 2 weeks from now, if everything's done, we vote for the bond reduction, everybody's happy and moves on. Otherwise,
agree.
end the conversation.
Okay. The only point I want to make, and just to be a little bit argumentative, is the subdivision control law doesn't really give you any discretion to not vote on it, because it's written in the affirmative that we do the analysis, that what is the cost, and then the cost is set, we give you the money, and you have to release it. So, we're not going to argue over 2 weeks. But I'm just pointing this out, and I've heard the chairman at least say it over many times over the past 40 years. It's written in the affirmative, so you do this, and we'll do that. And I understand your position, I completely understand it. But if that's the decision,
And,
that's the
and
decision.
everybody on this board, and I'm speaking for myself, and I think I'm speaking for most of the other people, we know what the laws are as far as this goes. And I don't think that we're throwing our nose at it in any way, shape, or form. Mr. Gallagher has even said he has not fully had time to prepare everything, Bill. That being said, it's 2 weeks.
Okay. I mean, you guys make the decision. You make it.
You mentioned the gate box. It's the gas company's fault. So how are you going to get that corrected in 2 or 3 days, 4 days?
They have to go in and cut it out and drop it.
You're going to get the gas company to move that quick?
No.
Good luck.
No, they do it. They said it wrong, but we have to fix it. Just what you said is correct. It's their mistake that it has to be fixed by us. There's no excuse for that. I mean, the gutter was there, they should have set it 6 inch up, instead they set it like 10 inches up, so. But my point was, it wasn't set incorrectly by the developer, it was set incorrectly by the gas company.
Okay.
Well, I mean, honestly, to be fair, I don't think we'd be having this conversation if there wasn't a history here to begin with.
I wasn't going to get down that road.
Well, I mean,
But it's true. It's
No,
fact.
I know that, but I wasn't,
Yeah.
because we're here for a bond reduction, we're not here for a history lesson.
True.
Let him do what he needs to do, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yep.
Need a formal vote of some kind?
Do we need a vote for an action item? I don't think we need a vote.
I'll just put it on the next agenda.
Okay. Do you have a time for that, Diana?
Action items, 7 PM.
Great, thank you. you. Thanks for listening.
Okay, next thing is a covenant release request for 357 South Street.
So you don't have this in your packets.
We don't?
No. Back when, in August of 2024, the board approved the subdivision on 357 South Street, and the release of Lot 2. There were two buildable lots in the subdivision, and the release of Lot 2 was contingent on the open space land being donated to the town. That has happened. The Conservation Commission and the Select Board both signed the deed, and it has been recorded. So now the developer is asking for the release of Lot 2. That was the only condition for the release. I have the form here for the board to sign if they would vote to approve the release of Lot 2.
Yeah.
I need a motion
Right.
for,
Well, we don't know.
Waiting, you know,
You gotta prompt us.
sorry.
I would make a motion to approve the release of the covenant at 357 South Street for Lot 2.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And last but not least, we have the bond for Maple Crest Subdivision, which is 6062 North Street. We had set it a couple of meetings ago, and the developer has submitted a tripartite agreement for the amount. So we would need the board to sign the agreement, so it can be filed with the town clerk and submitted to the bank.
That's Lawson Farms, is
Yeah,
that right?
there's no vote necessary, just
No.
we need to do it on the record.
Yeah.
So before you leave tonight, I need signature for two things. Thanks.
Okay, very good. It being sometime past 7:05 PM, we have a public hearing special permit, 58 Cedar Street, a single-family home addition, lot coverage greater than 2,500 square feet in the Water Resource Protection District. Patrick and June Gallagher. Good evening.
Didn't even see you sitting back there.
So Mr. Gallagher submitted a building permit to create an addition to his home. The house is in the Water Resource Protection Overlay District. So the impervious coverage exceeds what is allowed. It is, so the building department sent them to us. It is a pretty small addition. So the building department has no issues with the board, granting this special permit. And I think you need a special permit and a variance.
So, Mr. Gallagher, do you have a minute just to tell us what it is you'd like to do there in that 252 square feet?
Yeah, sure. I'm just extending my existing bedroom out, I think 14 feet by 18, and we're gonna put a master bath in the existing structure within the house.
So it's a single story, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
I think you have to close the public hearing first.
Oh, what? I'm sorry, what?
Close the public hearing first.
Yes, ma'am. I'll take
We're not
a,
taking our cues very well.
no, we're not.
You guys out of practice.
We haven't had a public hearing in a while.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now I'll make a motion that we accept it as submitted.
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Good luck with it. It being sometime past 7:10 PM, we have a public hearing special permit, 138 Washington Street, map 51, parcel 014, a 32-unit industrial condo facility within 9 buildings, a lot coverage greater than 2,500 square feet in the Water Resource Protection Overlay District, Patriot Park LLC. Hello, young man, how are you tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, I'm good. Got some renderings for everyone. You guys already have?
Yes,
We have
I
them.
think we do.
If I could share my screen, I'll put up the rendering that everyone has so you can see it at home. So good evening, everyone. For the record, my name's Cameron Gray, and I'm with Bay Colony Group, here on behalf of our client, Patriot Park LLC. So 138 Washington Street is located on the southeastern side of Washington Street. It's located behind 1000 Washington Street, 140, and 138 Washington Street. So to help orientate you, 1000 Washington Street is Mom's South, and then 138 Washington Street is the State Police Barracks. So this lot was created by subdividing 1000 Washington Street after the granting of a frontage variance. So this lot has 50 feet of frontage along Route 1 here, and it will be accessed through a shared entrance with 140 Washington Street. That entrance has been previously constructed, so it's existing there today in anticipation of this future development. So the property is located within the Highway Business Zoning District and is located partially within the Water Resource Protection District, Zone 3. So you can see I have that red dash line. It goes through the driveway and then through Unit 11 and Unit 16 and 17. So that's limit of the Water Resource Protection District, so everything to the left is within that district, so a good portion of our site sits in it. So the property is bordered by commercial properties along Route 1, the State Police Barracks to the north, and then Foxborough Conservation Land to the east. To the south is just an extension of 1000 Washington Street. They also own down there. There's wetlands located on this parcel in the eastern portion of the property, which is that light green there. And then there's also additional wetlands located to the south off the site. And there's also an intermittent stream to the north up here in the green. So we're proposing to construct 9 single-story buildings. They'll consist of 32 total units. So each unit will be 30 feet by 60 feet and will consist of a warehouse area with a small office component. These units are intended to function as individual contractor bays. So garage doors will provide access to each unit. We have 55 marked spaces throughout the site. And we're also proposing an additional parking space in front of each garage door at each unit. So in total, there will be about 87 parking spaces. In the northern portion of the property, we have the required handicap spaces located in front of units 29 to 32. The site will be serviced by municipal water and electric. A conventional septic system is proposed in the northeast portion of the property, which we have depicted here in the white. So it's located underneath the driveway. So each unit will have its own sewer service and water service. And it'll be pumped, or it'll gravity feed into a tank that's then pumped up to the field. And they'll be designed in accordance with Title V as well as the local regulations. The stormwater management system will consist of roof runoff and pavement runoff, and they'll be controlled by deep sump catch basins before being conveyed to a water quality structure that ultimately discharges to a detention basin located behind units 29 to 32 here in the blue. So again, that system has been designed in accordance with the Mass DEP stormwater standards as well as the local regulations. Lighting for this project will consist of wall packs on each individual building, so we're not proposing any pole lighting out here. And then the dumpster pad shown here in the tan will have a 6-foot vinyl fence with a gate around it. And then as for the buffers and the screening, we're proposing a natural buffer along the driveway and along the northern and eastern portion of the site. And where we're abutting to the south and to the west, we're proposing a 6-foot stockade fence in addition to the proposed retaining wall. And then the last thing was we've also prepared a stormwater pollution prevention plan and snow storage plan. And that would be sheet 9 on the site plan, and that just depicts where the erosion control is, as well as our snow storage areas for the site. And then just a few things I wanted to mention was we went before conservation at the end of last year in December, and we've also had a meeting with the town professional staff again in December. We didn't receive any big comments there. There was nothing that worried us. We have not received any comments from the town's consultant as of today. And Gabby also forwarded me a letter from the abutter at 140 Washington Street, and he had concerns about the buffer area where we abut his property. So he had recommended doing some plantings in there, and we discussed that with our client, and that's no issue for us. I think that's about it. Thank you.
So is your client mom, is that who it is?
No, so it was subdivided from the parcel that is mom's house, so this is a separate individual now, it's not mom's.
Okay.
Are these businesses or storage units?
So the intent is they're gonna be individual contractor bays, so it'll be for electricians and plumbers. He hasn't made a decision, it could be rentals or he could be trying to condo them, but that'll be a decision moving forward, we don't have an answer yet.
I'm having a little trouble following some of the topo lines here, but just in terms of your paved area, the footprint itself, how's it going to be pitched, and what sort of site work will be required to get it to that?
So yeah, it's kind of hard to tell here, but for the most part, this site is surrounded by retaining walls. We have a very high water table on this site, so this site has got to be built up significantly. So I have retaining walls going around the site that vary from 6 feet all the way to 12 feet. But yeah, it's just, I need the design up from the water, as you guys know. So the septic is really driving the train here, as well as the stormwater system. So once I start moving up from there, it starts turning into, I need retaining walls in order to maximize this site.
So is there sufficient material there to do that, or are you going to bring material
It's
in?
definitely going to be an import site.
Too bad this didn't come before us before we granted for the earth removal permit from Blue Diamond. We just trucked it across town.
Yep.
Questions from anybody?
Are these all one-story units?
Yes, all one story.
Oh, 2 stories, okay.
Yep, yeah, so there'll be one story, just slabs on grade.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but wasn't conclusive.
What's the height? What's that, 24? Is that 24 feet? Is that 24?
Maybe.
What's the height, 24 feet?
Yeah, 24 feet and then pitched up to the peak there.
Yeah.
Anything else from the board before I recognize Mr. Hanflig who had his hand raised? No, I think. Please, Mr. Hanflig.
My name is Jay Hanflig.
You have to come up to the table.
You have to speak into the microphone.
Thank you. My name is Jay Hanflig, and I'm the principal of 140 Washington Street, which is the primary abutter of this project. And I guess I'd like an idea of what the buffer will be along the two shared areas of our property and your project. I know we talked about, and I had spoken to Bill about it, possibly some plantings, small trees, shrubs, whatever would create the buffer so that our tenants won't be looking at a road right in front with trucks coming by during the course of the day consistently. And behind also, on the far side of the property opposite Route 1, what type of buffer would be there? And then the question I have is, you're saying you're putting up retaining walls. Could you help me by pointing out where those retaining walls would be?
So we have a retaining wall beginning basically right at the edge of your property that will encircle the site
And
all the way up to here.
so that retaining wall is going to be block, or it's going to be,
So we just propose a detail for a stone strong wall, which is typical to what we use, but ultimately it'll be the decision of the contractor, and that'll need to be approved by the building commissioner.
so are you saying that it's going to be a poured concrete wall?
No, so the stone strong walls are those individual blocks I usually see.
Oh,
They kind of look
I'm
like
fa-
big Legos, and they
Yeah,
kind of stack them up.
I'm familiar. And there's no, I'm assuming you took into the calculation that there would be no drainage coming back to our property from this property with all the walls and holding back whatever drainage might be coming toward us.
Yeah, so this site, I designed it, so all the pavement on site will be draining into the on-site drainage. So there may be minimal runoff just from the grass area, but I know you have a big berm along here at the back of your property.
So as the people are behind the end of our property, as we abut it, are they going to be well above the grade of our driveway so that our tenants are looking up at vehicles above us?
Yes, yeah, so like I said, with this site, we have really high groundwater, so everything's got to be built up in that area.
Do I understand?
Yeah.
So after the wall goes up, the Lego blocks is what you described them, and I understand it, that's going up. Is there going to be a fence above that?
So anywhere where the anywhere where the retaining wall is, I propose a guardrail along it. But in addition to that retaining wall and that western property line there, I proposed a stockade fence. It's just a 6-foot stockade fence.
On the left-hand side where the arrow is?
Yep, so it's along this whole property line here.
I understand that's behind the state police per se, isn't it?
No, so this is you right here, 140.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it'll be along this whole western property line.
What about the property line that comes in from Route 1, that goes the whole length of the driveway? That right there, as you're looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, we were originally going to propose just a natural buffer in this area, but Gabby forwarded us your letter, and we had discussions with our client, and we have no issues with doing additional plantings in there, whatever it may be, to provide additional screening.
I think that all we're asking for, I really don't have a problem with the project if it enhances Foxborough and what have you, and creates more profitable businesses. But my only concern is I just don't want anybody who's coming into our property or who's there now to have to watch, all the trucks go by nonstop. So that road's going to be a relatively narrow road. So in the buffer in between, as long as there's something that separates us that's visual, preferably not a stockade fence like you're doing in back, which is fine. That would be helpful for us.
Okay. Yep, that would be no problem for our client.
We'll forward it to you, Jay.
I'm sorry.
When we get the planting plan, we'll forward it to you.
Yes, thank
So
you.
you can look at it
Yeah, I
before we come
appreciate
back.
that, Bill. I think those were my questions. I appreciate the time.
Sure.
It's a little difficult to read the elevation, I mean, the topos here. Cam, correct me if I'm wrong. On this gentleman's property, closest to the new proposed property line for the driveway, it's about 318.
Yep.
Driveway's gonna be about 320.
Yep.
So there's only about a 2-foot difference right there? Okay.
Yeah, so-
It seemed like there was more in conversation, so.
Yeah, so
What'd you say,
we're,
318?
318.
Well, on this 4.2, it has 314 close to the,
No, not
Down
this
by
road,
Route
down.
1.
oh, down there,
Yeah.
all right, I was looking at the back.
Yeah, his property, if you look at the screen, Tom, his is the property running vertically,
Yep.
the yellow building.
Yep.
And that red dotted line right near the
Oh, okay, yeah.
cursor is 318.
Yeah.
And the driveway's at 320, so that's really not a big,
Right.
Yeah,
it
so
sounded
we-
like it was gonna be a lot more there.
And you have everything
So-
pitching in the back of those units 1 through 11 towards the catch basins
In the corner.
in the corner.
yeah, so we match kind of the existing grade coming in, and then we start to climb up.
Right,
To
right.
get up into there. But the way I designed this site, essentially, it's this, like hills and valleys, and trying to just pitch the stormwater towards our catch basins where we want them.
What is the width of that drive?
The one coming in,
Yeah.
so it's 26 feet. I gotta
Is it?
leave it.
Okay. Yeah. And I take it probably the largest vehicles going in there anticipated would be box trucks.
Yes, yeah, so we anticipate that, and then, we also did, the Foxborough Fire Department's ladder truck and ran it around there, and everything was okay.
So is it, I mean, not that really anybody's going to hold the owner of this, but is it their intention to like build out the whole thing and then lease up or sell? Or is it, they're going to phase it? Do you have any idea?
I believe their intention is to build out the whole thing and then rent out the individual units.
You know, it's certainly an area of town that, you know, would be opposable to any, I mean, I can understand Mr. Hanflig's concerns as a butter, but I mean, you know, it'd be one gigantic warehouse there, which people probably wouldn't love, and it's named out, you know, and there's plenty of contractors in the town or in the surrounding towns that I'm sure could use the
Yeah,
space.
and contractor bays really don't generate an abundance of traffic.
No.
It's usually a couple of guys coming in the morning and going
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
'Cause we have a contractor building in the window next to my property and Mr. Green, and minimal traffic. And he's got, how many bays up there, Bill?
Is that like 11?
11 or 12, yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
Drive-through.
yeah.
Kevin, do we have commentary on this?
No, there's no.
No, I don't think so.
There's no input because we had a department head meeting,
In advance.
professional staff meeting, and they submitted their comments there,
Okay.
which, you know, have been addressed. The only holdup that, you know, Cam mentioned is that we haven't received the review letter from our consultants for the stormwater. We were promised that we would receive them at the beginning of this week, and we haven't. I checked in with him today. So that's really the one holdup on this.
Yeah, Weston and Sampson's supposed to do that work?
Yeah.
So we can approve, subject to their approval as well, correct?
No. No, we need to
Continue?
continue this public hearing. I would suggest that we continue it in 2 weeks, depending on whether the letter is, you know, easy to address. Then we can come back in 2 weeks and and review it. Even if not, if it takes longer to respond to the review, then we would continue it again.
Okay. All right, so do I hear a motion to continue to, what's the date? 22nd?
January 22nd, be 7:15.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing, special permit 138 Washington Street, map 51, parcel 014, to January 22nd at 7:15 PM.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We have a continued public hearing sometime past 7:15 PM. Site plan review, special permit 0 East Belcher Road, Contractor's Yard, J. Cook Realty, LLC.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group, and I'm representing Mr. Cook. We've, as everybody knows, this has been in, why do I have all the hard ones tonight? This has been in court, and Tuesday, right? Tuesday, finally got it signed up Tuesday. So all the documents were signed Tuesday for an agreement. I have to make some pretty minimal changes to the site plan based on comments we received, whenever that was, last time we went before the board. And the other thing, we also showed like where the parking is going to happen. We showed the ZBA that, or the chairman of the ZBA that. So very confident by next week, we'll certainly have you a plan, and we can go back in 2 weeks and close that too, maybe.
Won't he be here to say, it's to give it his, you know?
I think he's already talked to Catherine about it.
I think he wants to be, yes.
I think we'd all like it to be closed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes, we would. I was in a room the other day for a couple of hours with 3 lawyers and my client. That was fun. But we got it done, so that's good news.
Good.
Thank you.
So we would just ask for continuations for 2 weeks.
We need a vote on that, or no? Yes?
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to approve a
7:20.
continuance till the 22nd of January, at what time?
7:20.
7:20.
7:20. Do I hear a
Jeff, you can
motion?
do this one.
I'll second that. You made that.
All right, there you go. All those in favor?
Aye.
And final item for
Wow,
this evening is
rocking and
a
rolling.
continued public hearing, site plan review, 67 Green Street, parking lot expansion and site improvements for the Energy Electric Company Incorporated.
He's on Zoom.
Hello, I'm Chris Gilbert, participating remotely.
Sorry?
He's on Zoom.
Chris,
Oh, I apologize. Good evening.
how are you? Chris Gilbert from Farland Corp Engineering, representing the applicant and the property at 67 Green Street. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yes,
Please do.
please.
All right, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. This is an industrial zone property on the south side of Green Street. It's between Interstate 95 and 495. This is the existing conditions plan. There's a building here. I believe it's about 18,000 square feet, and it is partially warehouse and office space. What Energy Electric, who purchased the property, is looking to do is convert some of that warehouse space to additional office space, and doing so requires additional parking. So what we're doing here today is proposing parking on the property and associated drainage with that. In the rear of the lot, we have mostly wetlands here, shown by this dotted line here, flagged line. We have a dashed line, 25-foot buffer from the wetlands, and then we have this 100-foot buffer dashed line here. Currently, into the property here, we have parking spaces here, and then we have a drive around to the rear where we have loading docks, and we have a gravel area here. Currently, all of the paved areas drain into catch basins, which then lead to the infiltration detention basin in the rear of the property. And then we are proposing an expansion of the parking area here. This is an existing grass area. We're proposing 18 additional parking spaces in this area. That will increase the parking from, so we'll require 43 spaces. That'll bring us to 49 total spaces. It's an electrical contracting company, so they do have some company vehicles that they may park in the additional spaces. So they were looking to maximize these spaces on the lot. This is the drainage and grading plan. The natural grade of the lot pushes water towards this catch basin here. So we'll be keeping that same grading. So all of this new pavement here will drain towards this catch basin. It's currently a deep sump catch basin, but we will be replacing it with a water quality unit to provide further treatment. That will drain into the detention basin, which we are expanding the size to accommodate a 100-year storm from that additional runoff from that pavement. This was originally designed a little differently and went through conservation and got approval. We came to planning and found out we needed a 100-foot buffer for the parking from the street, as there is residential properties across Green Street. So we had 18 spaces located here along the front, which we had to get rid of. We originally had 10 spaces here, so we expanded that to 18. So we will be going back to Conservation February 2nd for a minor plan modification approval. This updated design increases the pavement area within the buffer by about 1,300 square feet. Right now, snow stockpiling is generally done in this lawn area in the front. It'll remain the same. Basically, everything will be pushed away from the wetlands, away from the 100-foot buffer, and snow storage area will be done here. And then any stockpiling done during construction would be done in this area, although it's really mostly just removal of about 6 inches of soil. About 1.5 foot of soil. We won't be bringing anything in, and basically just kind of site grading and paving. We do have erosion control right here along the limit of work. And snow storage for this lower area is handled in this gravel area here, and it will remain that way. That is it. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Just for clarification again, the net increase in parking is 18?
Yes.
Wow. Seems like a lot of work for 18 spaces. Man.
Well, he's also putting 70% of those in the wetland buffer, so
Yeah.
how are you gonna address that?
Did you understand the question?
No, basically all of the runoff from that is going into a water quality unit. None of the runoff will go directly towards the wetlands, so it'll all enter the drainage system on site.
Right. Well,
the
the point that I raised was the fact that you've got 70% of your proposed new spots within the 100-foot buffer.
Yeah,
Is that
the conservation agent reviewed the plans, the revised plans, and he has no concerns because the way that the water is being moved away.
Okay. I didn't know if a semi-impervious would be a better option, but
There's better and there's what's allowed.
yes, yes.
Well, I don't really have any questions.
The stormwater was reviewed by the town engineer by Kevin Davis, since it was a pretty small project. And he was satisfied with the calculations submitted.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem subject to conservation signing off.
And we wanted to run this by the conservation agent. because we wanted to make sure that the plans are not going to change again.
Right.
And so that the board can approve these plans and not have to modify them again.
Any further questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan review, subject to conservation sign-off.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gabby, where did Mr. Previtt go?
Oh, he was waiting for the Form K, and I told him that he's buying the lot
Yeah, no, I
two.
know.
And so I told him that I wouldn't give him the form until tomorrow. So
Okay.
I didn't tell him he had to leave.
That was the South Street parcel? That was the South Street? Yeah. So,
We need a motion to
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Let's close this first. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.